Guerillas, and this time we won't get caught out. This time we will be going live before we go off the bridge, and thereby not getting caught out twice. Just give me 2 seconds. So, I don't know what's going to happen here, but you're certainly not going to force me to do things I don't want to do by threats of what we already know what they're trying to do.
Stop. They'll arrest Netanyahu if he comes in. Somebody asked him, will you? No, they won't.
Just having a real walk about and seeing who's down here. It seems to be a bit more lively and a bit more active than it was yesterday with various types of groups. Hiya. Hi there, how you doing? One of the reasons I don't really comment, apart from it being none of my business, on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, apart from on the humanitarian side, I'm not quite really sure whose land it is. Anyway, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure who's got it, so I don't comment. I try and not comment on things that I don't actually know. So, just thinking about where they set up, because with that racket in the background, I'm not really going to get a good chat, and I really want to have a chat with you guys today. Also, I know that lightning doesn't strike twice, but I'm not quite sure. But I would stay away from prying eyes and prying other people trying to interfere with the stream. Because this time I want to have a really good chat. So there's a BBC building that should be privatised. Absolutely no reason for it being in public ownership just now. Oh, it's a bit windy here. I don't know if that's blowing right into that mic. So let's just go around the other side here. A lot of people seem to think they can tell you what to do. They're not in a... They're overly abusing the position of authority, and sometimes even individuals who think they're authorised to tell you what to do are not authorised to say anything. So let's this is quite quiet, and it's a bit secluded. So let's set up here, because this is the way in to the conference. Let's set it up. Let's flip this back. Let me just give me a second. I'll turn the mic. I'm good, thanks.
Hi, my name is James Henderson, police officer, police officer Scotland.
Okay.
Just asking what you're recording for a journalist at the moment, you press or
Yeah.
recording at the moment, sir?
We do political commentary.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, that's about it, officer.
Aye, so what are you down here for?
Commentary officer. I cover in Westminster and here.
Oh, right, okay, aye. You got a business card or anything at all? No.
Guerilla TV channel.
No, is that right? Aye. Can I just get your details that I spoke to you? No, not at all. No. Not even for us, you're a journalist.
Well, you'll be able to get me on the Guerilla TV channel.
Right, okay.
So already all out there, so it's you can just go on.
What's it on YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
Right, okay.
YouTube.
And how much do you have that? How long do you have that on?
So 7 years.
Like
Not really a big following, but we've certainly got a following.
And for all political parties?
All political parties, officer, yeah. All political parties. So I talk.
Jim, by the way.
I'm David, nice to meet you. But we speak to the leaders of the political parties. We have 3-hour conversations with the leaders of the political parties.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a look at it yourself, officer. It's not.
It's Jim.
Jim. Oh, Jim.
Yeah,
And you get any interactions today with any political leaders?
No, the Labour Party are a bit fascistic and a bit authoritarian,
Right, okay.
so they don't really conduct themselves in a proper manner.
Right, okay.
That's why they're bringing in.
Really wanting to, I'm not really wanting to interact
Right,
with them, to be honest with you, because they don't interact and they don't speak properly. So it's I do speak to all other political parties, but these.
You live stream this just
I'm
now?
like you're going out just now, so that's why I'm not obviously.
Famous?
No, I'm not focusing on you.
No, not at all. Sorry.
I'm not focusing on you at all. So it's.
Are you going to base yourself here just now
Just
and
stand here.
do a wee bit?
Well, I'll probably do a few hours, to be honest with you.
Just here?
It's long form speeches. So yeah. So I speak.
Is this the best area for you to...
Well, I was hoping I wasn't going to get interfered with it. It's not. It was slightly
No,
less
we're
windy.
not interfering with you
No,
at
no,
all.
no, it's alright. It's we all know what's going on anyway. But the fact is that I was trying to get them in the microphone as well. So yeah, that's basically the sort of situation. I'm trying to get out the mic, but it's a wee bit windy here as well. Might not stand here, but.
It's not the best, is it?
It's not the
Get
best,
away
is
from the
it?
wind.
'Cause it
Or
does
over.
swing.
I would say that backdrop there. With the greenery behind you.
No, I prefer actually the people going in, because we can see who the corrupt ones are, can't we? See where the corruption lies.
Well, everyone's got their own opinions.
I know it is my opinion. That's
No,
we are a political opinion channel, officer.
So how
we
many folk do you have working with you then? Just yourself?
Yeah, just myself, officer. Just I go and
By the way, it's Jim.
Jim. Sorry.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, no, I understand. So we've been going for about 7 years, as I said, and we're an online political. Speak to all the MPs. So not exactly new to it, but there seems to be a very keen police. It's not as if this is not all checkable, and you can't just log on to the.
Just a second, I've just got to make a call coming through, but I'll speak to you.
So.
Yeah, he's come to mission to.
Well, we're already started, I hate to tell you, but we're live streaming just now. So, here we are, and quite interesting. I've never seen the police so interested in me or my podcast. It's very interesting, especially with the longevity of how long we've been going. This is not a new podcast. We've spoke to tons of MPs, tons of MSPs, everybody, and. But it seems to be a fixation just now with being talked to by the police. So it's quite interesting. I don't know what the fixation is just now with me doing 2-camera podcasts. It seems like there's maybe a wee bit manoeuvrings in the background by people who might be higher up than the police, if that makes sense. Because it seems a bit strange, doesn't it, every time I do a one-to-one getting followed by the police. I mean, I came to a relatively quiet spot and we're still getting tailed by the police for live streaming. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, especially what's been happening before. So I cannot talk to the camera without the police coming and actually speaking to us. I don't understand it at all. Is there somewhere you would like me to move to that I wouldn't be getting sort of interfered with or talked to by the police?
You can go where you like.
Right, that's terrific. So, are you wanting me to go somewhere else, or are you? I'm quite happy to move. I'm not wanting to cause you any problems.
Not at all.
Jim.
If you're happy, this is where you want to conduct your
Well, I
live
might go
streaming.
round the front because you can feel it's a bit windy, so the wind's a factor. Obviously, with the mic, it can affect the actual transmission. But if it's...
No one's going to stop you, sir.
That's great.
We're quite happy for you to engage in your channel. You obviously be wary of any political views that you have. Just be wary of your any kind of language. But at the moment, I wouldn't
Well,
suggest
I'm a libertarian officer, so I believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah, no.
So I don't believe in the communist speech policing. I understand what you're saying. I know what you're saying, officer.
Heads up.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, officer, but I appreciate it.
David, nice to meet you.
Nice
Jim.
to meet you.
All
Nice to
right.
meet you guys. Thank you very much. So, there's obviously bigger things afoot, and this is obviously because of the Labour Party. It's not a political change going from the SNP to Labour. That's not a political change. That's just one Social Democrat party to another. The nationalist versus unionist point that people are getting really het up on is a non-factor. The SNP, the Scottish National Party, can't get any further forward on nationalism. So de facto they're just a Social Democratic party. And Aina Sarwar, who's probably the most far-right politician that Labour's ever had, is now in charge of Labour. He's the most far-right. He's probably more far-right than Dewar or anybody else. He's the most far-right politician that we've actually got in Scotland, I would say, that's in a mainstream political party, which is quite incredible, being meant to be on the left. But Sarwar, I think, in himself is actually the furthest right. I think he's actually further right than a Social Democrat. And I would say that probably a wee bit like Swinney. Swinney's got to pander to the left of the the Scottish National Party. Don't forget Alex Salmond stormed out of the actual Scottish National Party conference, and so that he could take the SNP to the left. From a political point of view, that was exactly the right thing. But once you take away the unionist versus the nationalist positions, all you've got is two social democratic parties. So all you would be doing, and because the unionist versus the nationalist, sorry if it's blowy here, I might go around the front, unionist versus the nationalist argument is not in play, is not actually there. All you've got is that you've got two social democratic parties. So all you would be doing is changing one Sarwar for Swinney, or vice versa, or keeping it in. All you're getting is social democratic policies, whether it's the SNP or Labour, and that's all you're going to get. You might get marginal tweaking at the sides, but all we've had, apart from maybe Nippy and Hamash Useless, all you've got is these nipping at the sides of social democracy, and that's all you've had since the start of the actual Scottish Parliament. So you're probably wondering what happened to me yesterday, and I was arrested. So the woman in here made a false allegation, come up to me, and when I was recording outside. The only thing it's only going to get worse under the SNP. It's not going to get worse or better. It's marginal at the sides. It's not going to get worse unless you change to a different ideology. So the Scottish Libertarian Party would be a different ideology. The Lib Lab Con Party and the SNP are not a different ideology. They're all part of Wokie Wefter, and the Greens are obviously a Tranny Commie party. So that's not, there's no change there. There's no change, and obviously the Green Party, the Village Idiot Party. So all we've got is shades of social democracy, social democrats. You've not got a change of ideology, which would be better for Scotland. It would be better for 4 years of a different type of politics. But what we've got is the police come and harass independent journalists. They make false allegations, take you to jail, stop you recording, stop putting a different perspective on the political scheme, system, whatever you want to call it, the political compass, and stops you interacting. So they even get the police now involved to stop it. They get the judges now involved. A woman from the family party gets imprisoned or pulled up the police for silently praying outside an abortion clinic, which for me that's perfect. That's her right. I'm not anti-abortion, but it's her right to pray outside an abortion clinic, and that should not be a police matter. And then the police obviously coming up to me saying I said the woman I was black. I didn't even look at her. I was looking at the setting up my phone. But like the police came up there, the security guard came out from outside to me standing in a public area and said, "Do you have a permit to film?" Why would I need a permit outside to film? And I just said yes, and I thought she was going to walk away, and I think she didn't like it. I think her ego was bruised because I wasn't really interacting with her, because she thought she had authority. And then she made up a false allegation. I get arrested, taken to the police station to stop me actually filming. That was the crux of what was done yesterday. I believe it wasn't even her that did it. I believe it was somebody inside the conference centre, through the police, told her to actually come and do it. I don't even think she did it of her own volition. And that's what happened yesterday. So I'm arrested to stop a different political take on politics, a different political opinion, journalism, whatever way you want to actually word it. It's to stop a different view on politics, to keep the status quo there, and not to actually change any from the Social Democrats, whether it's Labour Social Democrats or the Conservative Social Democrats or Liberal Democrats. That margin is slight. It's probably the SDP, the actual Social Democratic Party, who Craig Houston is now a member, is probably more on the libertarian side. And as I said, I'm a libertarian liberal, so I'm a centrist, but I'm not on the same side as the Lib Lab Con Party or the SNP, because they're all Wookie Wefter parties. I believe the empowerment of the individual, not the state. That's a totally different perspective than anything else that's going to be talked about in here. So, but I mean, quite incredible, quite absolutely bonkers. The fact that we are getting harassed by the police. 7 years we've been doing this. This is not me just all of a sudden coming to this and they don't know who I am. And they've asked me for my details about 40 million times. And it's all up on the internet, as if they can't check it. As if they can't check who I am and what I do. Whoa! This is a bit blowy here. Let's. I just want to get somewhere a wee bit less blowy. Let's go round here. I think there's people coming in. I think there was a march in the city centre, and I think they've marched along the Broomielaw, and I think they've arrived now. So yeah. So I think this is like the SNP Palestinian sort of SDP, but I'm not quite sure if I'm actually in the mood for this. I might actually take a boat, but I wanted to definitely show face today, and I might try and go somewhere a wee bit quieter and do that. But look. So I might just, I might leave. I'm not sure if I'm up for this as much as I thought I was going to be today, but I was definitely wanting to show face again. I don't think there's really much happening here either, apart from obviously that. That's been going on for months just now, and I'm not sure if there's any value there. I don't know if the Labour Party would listen to the pro-Palestinian side of the political spectrum anyway, but let me just put this down so I can talk. So again, harassed by the police. I mean, it's quite incredible, isn't it? I don't think any other journalist, media outlet, political broadcaster gets as much harassment for live streaming politics by the police as I do. It's absolutely incredible. absolutely shockingly bad. But we don't have a police force, we have a Stasi now, a politically motivated police force. And yeah, that's about it. That's it. And I thought I would talk to you about justice, the justice system. When I was charged and in the police station yesterday, the person who made the false allegation couldn't be charged for making false allegations. They could only be charged for wasting police time. Well, they weren't really wasting police time, because that's what the police do. So I would suggest that what is required is a law for making false allegations. And this could be quite a severe sentence of life imprisonment. Dave, why would you have a life in prison for making false allegations? Well, let me tell you why. There was a woman in America. Again, she was I think she was actually a stripper, and she was I think she was paid to do a routine at a college, and she falsely accused, I think, about 8 guys. I think they actually went to, I'm not sure if they went to jail or they didn't go to jail, but the lives were ruined with the R word. And they had their lives absolutely destroyed. And years later, and this is why you couldn't have a time limit on this for making false allegations as well, because years later she then retracted the allegation, and they were not found not guilty, but rather I don't think she was prosecuted for actually lying about this, and she made this allegation with regards to the R word and these 8 guys. Now, for me, what the actual standalone charge of false allegations should also have a financial element as well, because obviously these individuals have lost money, lost time, had their lives destroyed, reputations destroyed. And while that person who made the false allegation yesterday couldn't corroborate it, even if they could have corroborated it, and I had actually been charged, which I wasn't charged, that and there was still a false allegation, that probably wouldn't have destroyed my life, but it could have a bearing on other things. So these people can make false allegations and get away with it, and the charge of wasting the police time. That's what the police are there to do. But people who make false allegations are rarely charged by the police. Are rarely charged. Now, she couldn't corroborate what she lied and said that I said, and I couldn't probably corroborate what she said, I said, or the lie that she said. So there was no corroboration either way. So why was it even taken to if you can't corroborate it? Well, they were trying to get me to state in my statement that I corroborated the lie that she had said, which obviously was not going to happen because that wasn't said. But the punishment was the waste of time yesterday, and that's where the actual inconvenience of what happened yesterday. But she could lie and say and make an accusation about racism, and the police arrested me, and it wasn't corroborated, couldn't be corroborated, And the only way it would have been corroborated if I agreed to the lie in the first place by saying something that wasn't true in a statement to them. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. So I don't think, unless the PF is going to bring forward the charge, I don't think you should be charged until the PF actually says they're going to bring forward the case. Because even if you're charged and the PF throws out the actual scenario of whatever the situation the situation is, only if you should be charged if the PF is going to bring forward the case, and that's the charge. Because if there is no case if the PF doesn't actually bring it forward, if there's not enough evidence or whatever it is. So you shouldn't be actually officially charged unless the PF actually brings the case forward, and that should be the law there. There shouldn't be you shouldn't get charged because the process is the actual punishment, and if there isn't a case there, you shouldn't be actually getting charged. So that would be a change in the law, but definitely no time limit on false allegations. Because say the person who made the false allegation put you in jail for murder, and you did 20, 30 years in jail. At a later time, the person retracts or redacts the information that they lied and put you in jail for life. Let's say the harshest punishment for life. And then at a later date they've retracted it. That person should be automatically charged and get up to a life sentence themselves, because obviously what they've done is egregious. I don't think there's enough significance put on people who lie to try and get other people in trouble, or try and get other people sentenced or whatever it is. And again, this thought policing, obviously I've already told you multiple times that the word racist came from the mass murderer Trotsky in his book. So he's not somebody that you want to actually do that, but they are thought policing, and this is what the issue is. They want to thought police you, and this is and this is what hate speech and all of that, Islamophobia. Matt Goodwin has commented on the words Islamophobia as well. That's to stop you being able to criticise Islam. But it's just an Orwellian thought policing, and that's what the Labour Party do. They think 1985 is a manual. I've already said this, is an instruction manual, which is absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, we need to have a standalone charge for making false allegations, and the person that the allegations are made against, it has to be made easier through the judicial system to actually be able to bring forward criminal and civil actions against somebody who has made a false allegation, and where there can be recompense paid to the individual who may have suffered reputational and financial damage by the person who made the false allegation, regardless of what the allegation is. So the other thing is, in that situation there, I would suggest when it's one individual's word against another, that the two people have to do polygraph tests. So the individual, so I can then counter charge the individual by saying that this is a false allegation, and say to the police, I want them arrested at the same time for making a false allegation. So they would say, you said X or did X, and I say this is a lie, this is a deliberate false allegation, the individual who's making the allegation has to then be arrested as well, and then it goes to a polygraph test. So the two people then do polygraph tests in the station under, if it's one word against another, because if they've got no corroborating evidence, and I'm no comment or don't agree because obviously it was false, then I shouldn't be getting charged. There should be no charge levied. They shouldn't have wasted my time. But that wasn't to do with what was said. That was deliberately set up to get me away from the Labour conference and outside when Anus was floating about. So that's what they did. So you saw again being harassed by the police, and this is we don't, as I said, have a police force now. We have a Stasi. We have people monitoring your speech and not actually dealing with the proper crimes. This is the situation. This is they are doing hate speech, and they want to bring in Islamophobia, which there's no such term. Even the word racist, racist social construct. So the different ethnicities, but there's only one race. And she's obviously not watched the Guerilla TV channel, because I rarely talk about black people. I call them African Americans or Afro-British, so I don't usually use the word black as well. So again, very stupid by making the false allegation in the first place. But this is where we're at with the state of the policing. This is what a left-wing police force looks like. And it's not just here, it's in every place that there are, this is actually happening. Every country that has got a left-wing authoritarian junta, it comes out with speech laws because they want to control you. They think they're better than you and they want to control you. Obviously, being a libertarian, I don't believe in that, although I would probably put the boot in the other foot and see how they like it. But you definitely could do it back to them. You could criminalise the word racist as hate speech and just start doing it back, misogyny as hate speech, and if it's used incorrectly. So you could actually start to really muck about with them and change the whole speech dynamic. So I think that's what I was wanting to speak about today anyway. A bit of a boring waste of time. I thought that would be more fun. I guess it was fun in the fact that the police again came up and spoke to me for filming. The crime of filming. And that's where they're at. That's where our police force is at. Getting actually criminalised for filming. I mean, it's something else, absolutely something else. Somebody made a comment, I'll have a look at it when I go off. But yeah, that's it. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. And yeah, there needs to be change in the police force as well as changes in the legal system. Don't think it's quite working. But baby gorillas.